M. Fletcher Brown with another artist visit on kicks96country.com. And our guest today, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, she's got a brand new single that's charting right now. It's Fine. And our visit today is with Mira Goto. How are you, Mira?
Hey, I'm great. Thank you.
Okay, so let me get comfortable here. We have so much to discuss. We've learned already that she and I have similar musical tastes, at least a couple of places. You consider yourself a singer-songwriter?
I do.
All right. So how long have you been musically inclined? Like, I mean, at what age did this begin?
Like offensively early. My parents tell me that I went to preschool. One of my classmates brought her violin for show and tell, and I would not stop talking about it. And I begged them to get me a violin every single day. So when I was 3 years old, I started violin lessons.
Oh, okay.
And I played for about 10 years. And then as a teenager, I thought guitar was cooler. So I switched to guitar and I never looked back.
Okay. So you didn't continue with violin at all?
I mean, I have one. I was classically trained, so I wish I had kind of done a little bit more fiddle, but it would have served me well in this industry now. But
well, let me ask you a question then, because it does come up, and you being a violin guitar player, you are an authority to answer this question. Is there a difference between the violin and the fiddle?
I think that it's style. I think that violin, when I think of violin, I think of classical music, Vivaldi and Mozart. And when I think of fiddle, I think, Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Yeah.
And, it is very country when I think of fiddle. But no, they're the same instrument.
See, so there you have it. It's the same. Stop calling me. It's the same instrument. All right. So obviously you've been musically inclined for a very, very long time. Is there anybody else in your family? I mean, were you inspired by your mother, your father, aunts or uncles, or how'd that work?
Absolutely. My grandmother played the organ for church for 50 years, and my dad had a guitar. So actually that was how I got into guitar. I would do my violin practice, and then whenever we went to bed, I would sneak into his office and take his guitar and go try to figure out how to play it, because it's kind of like a violin but backwards, and there's a couple extra strings, and you don't put it under your chin or anything. But I was trying to figure it out based on what I knew, and he caught me and was like, great, let's get you some lessons. So it was wonderful. I always had access to it.
When you have that kind of support system, when you have a family that will rally behind you and just like, oh, look, here's this thing that you child have interest in, let's nurture this.
Nurturing the passion, for sure.
I mean, there's just no better schoolroom to learn in.
Absolutely.
All right. So now your music, if I may say, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Right. Fine is a beautiful song. I highly recommend you find it and listen to it and buy the album and do all the things. I do. I mean, I give you
do all the things, all of them.
All the things. Who were some of? I mean, you're in the country genre. Do you consider yourself unique, like exclusively country, or does you consider your sound a blend of country and maybe other genres? I mean, how do you feel about the music?
I think it's definitely a blend. I was not raised on country music. I grew up in California. I was raised, on singer-songwriters, and so there's a lot of that in my output, right? But I found myself driven towards those lyrically driven songs. I wanted to hear a story in 3 minutes, and I wanted to hear it on a melody, and I wanted to hear interesting chord progressions, and I wanted to learn everything I could about that, and that was what pulled me into country music.
Okay, well, country music is famous for singer-songwriters. I mean, everybody from Chris Christopherson to John Denver to Willie Nelson. It's like you can't really look at country without saying that traditionally country is a storytelling platform, much like singer-songwriter. What you might think when we say singer-songwriter, you might think James Taylor or Paul Simon, you might folks like that. But all of those artists who fall into that, they all at some point had an interest in country at some point, or have worked with artists like a Willie Nelson or Chris Christopherson. Country is just a platform for storytelling. So what story is Mira Goto telling right now? I mean, now your name has popped up a few times over the years. All right. This is the first time that we've had the honor of having her here in our studio. So you have a current project and your single is Fine. What is that story? What story is Mira Goto telling there?
Well, what I really hope to accomplish with music that I put out is the emotion that we all recognize in ourselves. I want people to hear something that I sing, that I've written, that I'm sharing with the world, that maybe happened to me, or an emotion that's real for me. And I want people to hear it and go, oh my God, she's just like me. I want them to recognize a bit of themselves in it, because times are so hard right now. And if I can bring people together on common ground, then that's a success.
Okay. Well, okay. Let's talk about the single then. What is Fine?
Fine. Oh, it's beautifully devastating. It's the story when you have a breakup and you're hurting and everything kind of sucks, and you run into your ex and they just seem perfectly fine. It's the rudest, isn't it?
It is. It really is. It's
you could at least pretend to be hurt for my sake. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Mm-hmm. Like just grab your side, collapse, faint, do something.
Yeah.
Give us something.
Yeah.
Let us have that. And so Fine is from the perspective of, one ex, and not talking about herself being fine, but
yeah, you're perfectly fine without me. What the heck?
And that's powerful. I think we've all felt, that way at least once in our lives,
Yeah.
So now what about the greater project, the album? Is it finished? Is it done?
The album's done. I had to delay releasing it last year because of reasons. And but we did finally get to put it out in October. So it's out. The title of the album is called Nobody Warned Me. And I feel like it's a lot of me in there. And there's a couple that there's a murder song in there, which we fabricate, of course, maybe. But I get to hold that over my husband's head. You better treat me right, or else track number 6 is coming for you.
Of course, that might also be the first place the police look.
I'm telling you.
Have you heard track 6 on her last album?
All the clues are in there, officer.
Well, then that you mentioned, and I always ask my guests this in the last year, and you did bring it up that, for reasons, the album was, kind of held up a little bit. How did you navigate 2020? And is 2021 offering you more promise, more opportunity? Do you feel like 2021, there's a light at the end of this tunnel for Mira Goto?
That's a hard question to answer. 2020 was devastating for many of us. For me, it was my launch year. My leadoff single came out in February. I had a radio tour planned. I had opening slots for top 40 artists. I was my first time scheduled for CMA Fest, and then overnight it all disappeared. So I learned how to make a very good margarita, which I indulged in on the regular. So that was a nice coping mechanism, but I went a little off the deep end. I ordered an inflatable dinosaur suit, walked around the neighborhood waving at children. It was a little bit scary for a minute. Yeah. Well, all we could do out in California was go for walks. So otherwise they wanted you to stay home. And so I thought, well, I need to make people smile because
Well, which end of California? South?
The northern side. Yeah. I'm from a town called Santa Cruz. It's a beach town. About, an hour and a half south of San Francisco.
I have a niece in Sacramento.
Okay. So Giants territory. There you go. Then I took it very personally at first. I thought, this is so unfair. This was supposed to be my year, but I realized it wasn't happening to me. It was happening to the industry, to everybody. Yeah. And so I started doing mobile concerts. I offered a concert service in the back of my pickup truck. People could hire me and I would come play in their driveways for their neighborhood for birthday parties, anniversaries, graduations. It was really fun. And I think I had more tour dates than anyone last year because I did 2 or 3 a week.
Wow. That's making the best of a bad situation. Pandemic come, Mira will make it happen one way or another.
We'll put wheels on it and we'll see you there.
Right. Well, the single sounds great. And again, I highly recommend it. It's fine. If you want to hear it, make sure you call us here at Kicks 96. We'll be happy to play it for you. Mira, if anybody's, has seen this and has been moved by your story and wants to hear more or learn more about Mira Goto, where do they go?
I am on all the social medias. My name is Mira Goto, MIRAGOTO. That's my handle for everything. My website, miragoto.com. If Mira Goto was taken, I had to add a music to the end of it, which is unreal. I mean, my name is so weird. I would have thought it wouldn't have been
Did you
taken.
confront this other
I
imposter, Mira Goto?
should.
You
Imposter.
Yes, this charlatan, this
The
other Mira Goto.
nerve. So rude.
Go find this person. We're coming for you, Mira Goto, without the music. We are. So, and of course, all the social medias, the Facebook, the Twitter. Do you do Twitter? All
The
that?
Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram,
Okay.
the TikTok. I'm still learning that one.
I can't. I'm
You
past
can.
that age.
You can.
No, I can't.
No, you can. I promise.
It's really a game for the under 40. It is. I don't understand TikTok. I want to. I don't. My kids get it. I don't think they use it, but they get it. I don't. So, but you know what? If TikTok's your thing, she's there. Find her. Maybe we can get her to play a live version of her single or any other song. You know, here. Look for the live performance from Mira Goto elsewhere here on our YouTube channel. And Mira, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, and hopefully, you know, we'll get to see you again soon.
I would love that.
You can come back, you know, with the next single. And if your husband is not with you, we won't ask any questions. We'll just refer to track 6. Okay, just refer to track 6. Mira Goto is our guest. Please look for her music at miragotomusic and .com, and of course all the socials. And Fine is here at Kicks 96 Country. We'd love for you to call us and request it, or tweet us and request it. Just go find it, download it, do all of the things, and tell her how good she is. Mira, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time on another artist video blog at kicks96country.com.
My whole world's crashing down. Why does it feel like I'm barely alive? And you're perfect.